when you think about the why can be yourself, but what we've seen and heard is the why is more the wider net of the inclusivity, your family.
Yes.
Yeah, the why is protection of your loved ones. The why is protection of your assets. It's important. The why can also be how can I diversify my portfolio? And once you completely understand the why, then we're now here to walk you through the process.
And
So we try to kind of
all these tests.
I retired, and obviously, but thankfully.
All right. We are in the studio, and today Tell Me Why is taking an interesting turn. We're talking citizenships. We're talking about secondary citizenships. We're talking about getting maybe an additional citizenship to your existing one. And with me in the studio is His Excellency Calvin St. Juste, who's going to talk to us about, St. Kitts and Nevis's citizenship and by investment program. And first of all, Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How is it so far in Dubai? How is your drive-in?
I'm actually enjoying it. It's my first time coming
interesting.
to this side.
Okay.
The interesting thing I'm loving is the architecture. I'm sort of an architectural fanatic,
yes,
not an expert, but just seeing what was being done and what has been built in roughly 30 years. And
yes, it is impressive, I have to admit. And it's something that stands out, when it comes to Dubai, the architecture, the skylines, the skyscrapers and everything.
Yes.
So, Your Excellency, we know that this citizenship by investment program was established in 1984. However, I'm sure that there are still people out there like myself who were unaware of this program. So before we dive into the details and, the nitty-gritty details of this program, can you tell us a bit more about it, just like an overview?
Yes. So when you think about the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program, I'll give you the 101 aspect.
Yes.
It is an opportunity that the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis offers to investors or potential individuals. We classify who wish to explore second citizenship by making a financial contribution. This financial contribution is mutually agreed on two paths. One, the individual is seeking some level of opportunity in regards to perhaps where their jurisdiction is. They may not have the extreme mobility from their passport, where ours give you that opportunity, roughly close to 160 visa-free access in sort of free movement.
Impressive.
The other thing we've seen in terms of what the program offers is what I would classify as protection in terms of being in an area where there is political and economic stability, and that's what we offer. And when you think about the Caribbean, the white sandy beaches, the blue waters, a very laid back but luxurious opportunity. So the program allows individuals, this sector of what perhaps maybe classify as a plan B, for the opportunity to move themselves or their families, having that alternative option. But also from an investment perspective, giving you the opportunity to invest and leverage and sort of expand your reach in the Federation. And so we've opened up this program globally, and as you stated, it has been in creation since 1984, 40 plus years, and is the globally leading one in terms of having that premier brand.
Yes, and I, as far as my knowledge goes, this is the oldest program of its kind. Is that correct?
It is the oldest, but we're always reinvigorating it. So, yes.
Always developing it. Yes,
correct.
Absolutely. Keeping up with the times. I'm curious to know, why did you launch this program? Did you feel like there was a need? Was there a gap in the market that needed to be filled?
Well, the history of how this program sort of came into being. So we're a federation where we started with sugarcane industry.
Okay.
And then that in of itself sort of went aside. And so the government at the time began looking at alternative ways from a revenue perspective. And so this came into being from a development in terms of what are the alternative ways we can, one, provide what we call the piece of the rock to the global world, but also support with our social welfare development, our economic diversification, and even more so help the country develop. And so this was sort of an opportunity when we began exploring it in the 1980s, as such in 1984. And then over time, as with any offering or program, then you can see the aspect of how you can then commoditize it, but still provide an opportunity on both ways where you have a market where there's a potential needs of individuals who can see the benefit of this program. And so we begin marketing it to a number of individuals globally and different jurisdictions. Obviously, the Middle East, Dubai has been such a great friend and market that we saw this was beneficial. And then the revenue that has come in has really helped in the development of our federation, whether it's ecotourism. We're on a path of sustainable development in terms of building out our infrastructure, moving into more eco-friendly energy and different sustainable sectors that we're thriving to. So the program in of itself started as, I would say, from an infancy perspective of how do we now move into an area to support the Federation? Right. And this opened up the opportunity of this tiny island to be able to offer this program to individuals globally, and obviously open up a market that we saw was not there to give individuals in certain jurisdictions. Perhaps they may have some instability in their countries, and they're looking for ways to move themselves or their family, or have an alternative option should there be some type of situation that requires them to have this program to their benefit.
Amazing. So I'm going to relate this to myself. Let's say I'm a person that's looking to invest and to obtain this second citizenship or this additional citizenship. How do I go about doing that?
Yes. So the first thing I would say, and in the world that we're in, is let's go on the internet. So that's the first thing to say. So I would encourage you first to go to our website. So we have our website. It's ciu.gov.kn.
Okay.
And upon there, you can then explore the various options that we have. What we offer is really in four type of we say investment opportunities. The first one is what's called the Sustainable Island State Contribution. And so that gives you the opportunity to make a non-refundable contribution. And then we have a number of opportunities in the developer, investment space, such as individuals who wish to invest in real estate development or private real estate option. And then we have what's called the public benefit option. And then what we have is that you would then be able to select what's called an authorized agent, because an applicant like yourself cannot directly apply. You would have to work through an authorized agent. And an authorized agent is someone that we have licensed to have the right and to actually market and service this particular program. And from there, they will provide you with a number of requirements that you need to pre-fill, and then from there, we begin the process appropriately. Okay.
I like that. I appreciate that there's a licensed agent that you can go through, because then that adds to the safety of the process, basically, so that that people that are coming for these investment opportunities aren't scammed. And I appreciate that. That's a major one that people will always take note of.
Now, what I would say in terms of the level of contribution, our program offers really four options in terms of where someone can invest. The first one is the Sustainable Island State Contribution, and that starts at $250,000 US, and it's a non-refundable contribution that an individual can invest as a main applicant, Or, as I stated before, we are a family-based program. You can have up to four individual family members, main applicant, spouse, and two dependents on the age of 18 or a parent. And so that's important. That's a very, very inclusive program. The second the second category, which has sort of a breakdown of three sub areas, is the developers option. So we also have what's called a real estate developers option, and that in of itself really starts at $400,000 US dollars. And under this option, an individual can invest into an approved real estate property development, and after 7 years, it's resellable. So you still now have an opportunity, if you choose to resell that unit in that regard. The other sector we have is what we call private home real estate option, where you can purchase a single family home at the minimum from a condominium at $400,000, or single family home at $800,000 US dollars. So that is sort of sits under the private family home sector. Again, we have luxurious homes in St. Kitts, so we know individuals would perhaps find those important. And then the last option, which is very critical, and it goes back to some of the earlier questions in terms of the why we actually opened this program. It is the public benefit option. And the public benefit option is that it starts at the minimum of $250,000 dollars, and this is for investors who wish to invest into certain type of development that beneficial to the government and the home, hospitals, airport expansion, various type of projects and initiative that we can obviously see the benefit to the Federation. And this is a critical area, because it now gives the government the opportunity to have funding for their capital projects in that regard. And that's critical in terms. In these type of option, there are additional fees. As I said, we have our due diligence process. So there's maybe due diligence fees that one would have to pay, and there's some application fees that involve, as well as some government fees. One thing to keep in mind is, we don't ask for that significant contribution up front. It's after an individual has gotten the approval in principle, then they can make their actual the actual payment to then get their what we call certificate of registration.
Right. I think that is a crucial point to clarify, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, is that, it's not like we pay, we get the citizenship. You have to, go through the process, become an approved applicant, and then you make the contribution and you take it from there, and then you obtain the citizenship. So it is it's a multifaceted process.
Various steps. Again, it's to protect the individual. Yes. So to your point, you mentioned, this is not a scam. So we want to make sure, because it's a very deliberate approach. So you're making this investment, and it's a phased approach, so that hey, this is where I am in this stage, and then we will let you know what you need to, what the next level of payment would be as you go along the process.
Okay. I know that you mentioned this in the beginning, but I wanted to go a bit more in depth in it. The benefits that individuals get. I mean, other than, opening up opportunities for travel.
What I will tell you, first off, traveling is key.
It is key.
So we always have to start with that.
Of course.
Having the ability, what we call mobility.
Exactly.
To move across. I came from the investment banking world, and so when I deal with individuals of high net worth, the first thing they ask is, how can I, first off, ensure that I can preserve and protect my wealth? Right. And so what we offer in a number of different ways is, first, we offer a stable political environment, and a strong and stable economic environment. What we also offer from what we've seen a number of investors are interested in is that we do not tax on your personal. So we don't have a personal income tax.
Oh, okay.
So that's always a great thing that we see individuals. So you've made your money, the government will not tax on your personal income. Furthermore, we do not have a wealth tax. So, certain jurisdiction based on an X individual's wealth, they get a certain number of tax. We do not have that. And what we've seen, because and individuals who perhaps become citizens, they want the future generations to also become citizens. So we do not we do not have an inheritance tax. So those are sort of the core foundation that we have, and we've seen why would someone benefit outside of the luxurious tropical island and beaches that we offer. But it gives you from a personal lifestyle, you have the opportunity to move and be part of the family of St. Kitts and Nevis. You now can obviously be assured that your wealth will be protected and preserved under a stable environment.
I just want to say I would do it for the tropical island and the sandy beaches. I mean, forget the travel. I would do it just for that. It's a beautiful, beautiful island. So it's encouraging enough. But my next question would be, do I have to live there to be able to obtain this citizenship, or can I make the investment but also live elsewhere? How does it work as an individual? Like, what is it required of me other than the investment?
Yes, and that's a great question. We consistently keep getting asked that question because, again, as I said, we offer this program to individuals globally,
Right.
From St. Kitts to Miami to Dubai,
Yeah.
in maybe 18 to 16 hours of flight.
Yeah.
So we understand the implication and impact. And so we have made the decision that one does not have to reside in St. Kitts. You have the option, and it's important to understand it is an option. It is, I don't wish to equate it like a life insurance, but because it's a very serious initiative, but it's just to have the option when you need it and if you need it, and you can apply it. And so we do not require one to have a resident, or we don't have a resident requirements as part of our program. We undergo a very strong due diligence process, and what we have used is this is the foundation to let us know we are confident that this individual will represent our country and be ambassadors to St. Kitts and Nevis. As such, we then made the decision that a resident requirement, or one does not have to reside.
Okay. And you mentioned that these investment plans can be, through these investment opportunities are through real estate. Mm-hmm. How is it benefiting the St. Kitts and Nevis community? How are these investments? I mean, there is an ROI to the whole program, of course. So how is it benefiting the country?
If you think about a country and a tiny island that's 63 square miles in the middle of the Western Hemisphere, surrounded by the ocean, and it's perhaps 3.5 hours from the U.S. and so forth. But yet we started off on our own journey. And I said sugarcane as being part of the foundation of who we were. And that moved further along. And then tourism came in. And we know tourism is cyclical. It's very seasonal.
Right.
Although we would love to be a tourist 24/7, not everyone can.
Absolutely.
And so we see the benefit of the real estate option in many different ways and how we contribute to our citizens. The first thing, as it stands, it opens up jobs. That's the number one thing. So an individual who's investing in becoming a real estate, that opens up so many jobs. Jobs in terms of construction, jobs in terms of, if you're opening up a hotel or perhaps you're building a condominium, you need individuals from a maintenance perspective. And that also then trickles down to giving us the revenue to support in our infrastructural journey. And also, we use the revenue in terms of how can we also push our sustainable island state agenda. So that's one of the key areas that we are seeing that, from a real estate and the benefit for us, and open up from a job perspective, open up opportunities and various capital needs that the government can leverage from.
I love that. I think that's crucial. Is also, I mean, it's a win-win situation. I love such programs because they benefit everyone, involved, all the stakeholders in the program, basically. But looking ahead, I mean, if we're looking at the future, what are some of your aspirations for this citizenship by investment program?
Yes, aspiration. I think what we wish to open up St. Kitts and Nevis to the world, but we have to do it in a very strategic and measured approach. From an application perspective, efficiency, speed is critical. And you talk about, again, go back to the ROI. One of the options that we offer as part of our real estate, on one of the real estate option, is an investor can invest in one of the programs that we have, but then they have the opportunity to resell it. And that's critical because it's a mutual benefit in different ways. So the aspiration, one, is to continue to make St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by investment number one. Now, how we do this, I've rolled out 6 principles, and it starts with first transparency. That is important in terms of coming to telling the world who we are, what we do, what we offer. Then we have communication. We need to talk about it. We need to let individuals across the corners of the world know about it. And then the third one really is good governance, and that's critical. Individuals that are making these decisions, they want to feel safe. They want to know I'm part of a community that I'm comfortable with. And so we go through a very rigorous due diligence process to ensure that we safeguard the nations. And by safeguarding the nation, we safeguard our individuals who come here. And then we have transformation. That is part of what we're doing in our unit, and that is ensuring that the unit, or the citizenship investment unit, this is the operation that actually processes it, is innovative, is leveraging technology in its core aspect. And so we want to be efficient, we want to be agile, we want to make sure that it's transformative in that regard. And then I would say, we want to also make sure that we're a global leader. That's number one. We want to be number one in this space. And last is sustainability.
I mean, the one point that resonated with me, and I think, all of them are, of course, key for, future plans and future advancement. But the one that resonated with me is reaching all ends of the world, all ends of the globe. And that's part of the reason why you're here in the UAE at the moment. So have you noticed that there's like a difference in the trends here in the Middle East? Are more and more people, is there an increase in the number of applicants? Have you seen that more and more people are opting for, additional citizenships and secondary citizenships?
Yeah, I think there is clearly a desire. I think our name is almost the cornerstone within the program.
Yes.
When you think about, and again, I had this conversation in a presentation I did last night. On my world tour, it was very important that my first stop is Dubai. Mm-hmm. Very important. Dubai has been the bedrock of this program. No longer could I say, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I now say greetings, family, greetings, Kittitians, greetings, division. And that's important. That's a very different type of welcome aspect. And so we see there is a significant interest in the program and continued interest in the program because the program is what we consider as the premier standard. With the premier standard, we have to ensure that we protect it. We have to ensure that we go to, I would say, the home of individuals who have always valued and see the benefit of it. And so whether it's a friend who have heard someone having it, who has shared it with a neighbor, who have shared it with their family members, their in-laws, their bosses, and so forth, we are seeing and hearing that a number of individuals, a large number of individuals, are still interested in the citizenship, St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by investment. And so we want to make sure that we offer it, and I'm here to ensure that people know we're here and we are absolutely welcoming every interested person and investor.
It just put a smile on my face when you were saying, the way you addressed people is, family as family, and how people are, it's very personal, it's very intimate. People are spreading the word, to their loved ones because of the trust they have in this program and the faith that they have in this program. And that says a lot. That's a testament to the success of the program and hopefully even more and more successes in the future. So then what's your advice for people who are considering, the Citizenship by Investment program?
I think the advice would be, first, you think about the why. I always start with the why.
The tell me why. Absolutely.
So once you've already think through the why, and we can help you, depending on your individual scenarios, because, as you said, think about the why. Sometimes the why isn't as clear, and so we obviously we're here to help shape and formulate the why. So I would say think about the why, and once you understand the why, and the why can be what's in front of you, and so that's the first why. It's important. This is not a light decision. It's not just so you have to think of that when you think about the why, and the why can be yourself. But what we've seen and heard is the why is more the wider net of the inclusivity, your family.
Yes.
Yeah, the why is protection of your loved ones. The why is protection of your assets. It's important. The why can also be how can I diversify my portfolio. And once you completely understand the why, then we're now here to walk you through the process. The process then, as I stated, is obviously, you can go onto our website. That's important. At least you find information.
Yes.
We have brochures. We have a number, as I said, the authorized agents. That's important for you to understand that process. And then we will walk you through. They will walk you through the each and every step that is needed to get to this approach and completion of the application. So these are sort of the I said the first step, and you can reach out. I mean, you can reach out to as I said, I'll share my contact. Yes. But it's important. It is important for one to search and look to, I said we have a website. That's important. We always use that. Then you have authorized agents. We have, we have other agents here to find out as much information as one wishes to then get the right information and then walk you through the various processes.
Your Excellency, this was an eye-opener. We thank you for joining us today and for sharing this information because I think it's very important, as you said, to think about the why. And a lot of people will find that it is not just for their future plans, but for the wider, family setup and for the future. It's a future investment. Yes. It's an investment in your future, in your professional career, in your personal development. And I think it is one that a lot, as you mentioned, are considering today. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience, that it's worth mentioning, something that people should look out for in the program?
The transformational phase that we have just on the go in terms of we transition our citizenship investment unit from a government entity to a statutory body. And what that now puts us in is a business-minded approach. And that changes. And so what individuals should be looking out for is the level of speed and efficiency that will be coming out of this new unit. Communication, more proactive communication and reach out that we're going to do. And I think, lastly, I would sort of close it out is that we're welcoming. We want individuals to first, understand the program is here. The program is available. We will avail ourselves as many time, and as I said, the internet is sort of the first shake hand.
Yeah.
But also ensure that the right individuals are getting access to the program to protect it as the premier program in the citizenship by investment space.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Calvin St. Juste. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Dubai. And if there's anything, please feel free to ask us. I mean, anything that you'd like to get done, we're here to help.
Lovely, and I will take you up on that offer for sure.
Please do.
Thank you again.